All right. All right. All right. All right. Are we live? Are we live? Let me know with is there music going on or is that my headphones?
That might be your headphones.
That's my headphones. Okay, hold on. Nice technical difficulties.
Yeah, happens.
It's okay. Let me know if we're live. Let me know if we're live. Best fucking win of this podcast, of this entire history of me watching football as a fucking educated fan. Um, what a win. Before we dive into everything, there's a lot of hype stuff to talk about, a lot of stats, players to talk about, to get into. Luke is going to be with me to break it all down. The best win the Giants have had in the last, you could go 10 seasons, you could go since the last playoff win, and I believe 2017, 2018, whenever it was. Oh, no, the last one was 2022.
Or
But before
22, yeah.
20, whatever. But probably the most pivotal win this franchise has had in a long, long, long time. Before we dive into all of it, I want to remind everybody watching that the Strictly does have Patreon. We have a $3, $6, $9, $15, $30 tier that gets you access to various benefits. The $6 tier is fantastic. You get access to our Discord, which we are always in, talking basketball, football, any sport, baseball, even sometimes. With me being a Mets fan and Luca being a Yankees fan, so that's for $6. $9 gets you access to our weekly Strictly NFL podcasts. You can always watch the preview on YouTube, but if you want to get over an hour plus of additional content in those episodes, you can subscribe to the $9 a month tier, as well as getting exclusive columns from our writers, access to Nick's mailbag, Schwinn's biweekly pod as well. Then you got the $15, $30, and $50 tier with additional benefits that are all great. But I want to get moving. Our sponsor for this great podcast is FanDuel. FanDuel, we love you. Best sports book for everybody to go use. We'll hit on that stuff a little bit later, around the 30 to 45 minute spot of this podcast, with some lines for this upcoming week potentially. But with all that stuff being said, that was a mouthful. I want to get into the real meat and potatoes of this fucking podcast. And that's the fact that the New York fucking football Giants, baby, are a hard-nosed football team, man. Come on, man. Cam Scatterboo, bringing identity to this team. Jackson Dart, bringing identity to this team. Brian Daboll checking in the physician's tent and saying, get Jackson Dart back on the fucking field. We don't care about that other shit you got going on. Get him back on the field. This fourth down matters. Winning football games at home and running out the goddamn clock with 6 minutes left on the Philadelphia Eagles. When have we done that in the last decade? Count it on your hands. I don't know, 3 times, maybe, if we're lucky. And we did it behind a bunch of rookies. Andrew Thomas in his third game back. Journeyman receivers. Lil Jordan Humphrey. I don't even know who the fuck else is out there besides Wandale. Who else caught a pass? Jalen Hyatt caught 3 passes. Congrats, kid. Career day.
3 catches for 15 yards. Yep.
Brian Burns, NFL leading 7 sacks on this season.
We'll talk about Brian Burns.
Can we talk about that contract right now?
Talk about that trade right now.
6 games of all-pro level play. If this, as a Giants fan, doesn't make your heart fucking jump and skip a beat, I don't know what to tell you. The utter embarrassment of this team for God knows how fucking long, to have a win like that, national TV, behind a rookie quarterback, a rookie running back, franchise left tackle, the best left tackle in football, bar none, the best O-lineman in football, bar none, with the best edge room in football, bar none, with the best defensive tackle in football, bar none, and we'll get into him a little bit later. This isn't the fucking doom and gloom, Daniel Jones, Jason Garrett, Joe Judge era Giants. I don't know if Daboll's here for the long haul. That's not to be determined off of this one game. I don't know if Joe Shane is here for the long haul. That's not to be determined off of this one game. But what I do know, Jackson Dart, Cam Scatterboo, Dexter Lawrence, Brian Burns, Abdul Carter, Kayvon Thibodeau, from year 2 to year 4, the improvement is fucking ridiculous. Every facet of the game. Malik Neighbors is not even playing. All those guys, forget about who the front office is, who the coach is. what was that, 8 guys who I just named as pillars of this team, the foundation is set. And the talk of how high Jackson Dart's ceiling is, how you want to manage Cam Scadaboo and his touches, with how physical of a runner he is, all that nitty-gritty stuff is cool, and we'll have conversations about that. But the fact of the matter is the Giants have a lot of really good fucking football players. And it's been a long time since you could say that with confidence. With that being said, Luca, how you doing?
I'm doing excellently. I don't even know if that's a word. That's how great I'm doing. This is about as good a win as I've experienced, like you said, as a Giants fan since I've known actually what I'm watching on the field. I might even go to say it's better than the playoff win because that roster was not as talented as this one. I think, like you said, the pillars are there. You know, I felt like this coming into the season. I feel like we talked about this a lot coming into the season as well. I didn't know how many games this team was going to win. I didn't know exactly what it was going to look like on the field as a whole throughout the season, but I did know that the talent was there to at least have a strong season, maybe not make the playoffs, but at least keep it competitive throughout the season. And, you know, I'm as excited as can be, man. I didn't think this would be possible without Malik. I'm going to be honest, I haven't felt as low coming into a game as this
absolutely.
in I don't know how long. Like the worst of the Daniel Jones era, probably. But you know, they exceeded all my expectations and more. And I think it all starts with the leadership from the rookies. You could just see it in the fire that they play with. They're lighting the vets' energy up too. Guys are, you know, feeling the love for the game again, getting their joy back. And it's showing.
I recognize my goddamn ball club again.
I recognize my franchise again, man.
I recognize my goddamn ball club, man. Let's go. Sorry, I cut you off. What did you say at the end?
You're good. No, I was just saying they're energizing the vets. Scott's a fucking maniac. Dart's a maniac. I really wish he would stop, you know, launching himself into defenders in midair and shit. But I think that'll come with time. But it's just really exciting to see the energy they play with, and it's really infectious on the football field. You can see throughout the defense, the offense, special teams. They fired on all cylinders on Thursday, and it was beautiful to see.
You know what? Should the helmet stay on for the whole fucking podcast?
That's up to you, man. I'm not gonna.
Can you still hear me with it on? Can you still hear me well with it on?
Okay. Clear.
We're going for at least a couple minutes with this on. That's what I'm gonna say. All right, at least a couple minutes, because I feel like Cam Scadaboo right now. That's who I feel like. I feel like Cam Scadaboo, and you know what? When I saw Dart do the head dive thing, and you see the replays and all that, and then he goes into concussion protocol. You never like are excited to see that, but that's what this team needs, man. Yeah. This team needs guys that don't give a fuck. They don't care. They don't care if they got to put their body on the line. They don't care what people are going to say. They don't care about the past and all the losing. You've heard it in the post-game interviews. They addressed it. They were like, this team has lost a lot before we got here, but that's not who we are. In college, Jackson Dart was on a top 10 Ole Miss team. In college, I was on an Arizona State team, talking about Cam, that was in the college football playoff. He dropped 200-something yards on Texas in the college football playoff. These guys are not here for losing. They've never lost. They've been, Jackson Dart especially, a top player everywhere at every point in their life. From USC to Ole Miss. Cam Scadaboo, whatever team he's been on, starting off in Sacramento State, then going to ASU. He's been the best player on every single team he's ever played on. And these guys have winning in their DNA. They obviously know how to carry themselves. Jackson Dart, in his third career start as a rookie, won a short week game against the Philadelphia Eagles, defending Super Bowl champions, without Malik Neighbors. Without Darius Slayton,
too.
Like, these kids they're obviously supremely talented, but they're also extremely there and ready mentally. They know how to prepare. Cam Scadaboo, 3 touchdowns in his sixth career game.
I need him to hit the century mark so bad. I'm not gonna lie.
I mean,
but
what they're doing is insane. 4 rushing touchdowns and 5 total touchdowns from 2 rookies.
Yep.
They are so ready for the moment. I'm sorry, I'm gonna just get one more thought out. And Brian Dable said it in the presser. He said, I like the rookies. It's not just that we have to rely on them, but who wouldn't rely on these guys?
Yeah.
When have we seen a rookie quarterback look as poised as Jackson Dart? On that Wan'Dale touchdown, the scramble, and the management of the pocket, there's a controlled chaos in that play. Yeah, he's bouncing around in the pocket. He's going off of linemen, pushing off, trying to find somebody open, but he's never rushed. He's never worried. His eyes are always downfield. And yeah, he could have got the ball to Wan'Dale sooner. It's a broken play. It's a broken play, and he's staying poised, staying sharp, delivers a good ball. Wan'Dale does the rest. The pocket movement from him has been excellent, and there's so many rookie quarterbacks who come into this league and can't get that down. Anthony Richardson in college, he was great at managing the pocket in college. Comes into the NFL, it's a different animal. All the athletes are different. Everybody was the most athletic player in their team in college. Jackson Dart has translated to the NFL with his athleticism. 3 total rushing touchdowns over 3 games. The only other guys to do that are Jalen Hurts and Lamar Jackson. We're talking about people coined Vanilla Vic for Daniel Jones when he was a rookie in that 2021 season when he was running all over the place. This is Vanilla Vic. This guy, number 6. Right? Like, it's him, Vanilla Vic. I don't care about the carries and I don't care about the hits because to some extent, it's a rookie quarterback who doesn't have all the answers right now, and sometimes he has to rely on his legs to make a play when his mind's not all the way there with the passing concepts. But goddamn, man, if you saw that win and your first thought was he can't take that hit, man, we won a fucking football game against the Eagles for the first time in my goddamn life that really mattered. Leave that shit at the door, man, and enjoy the fact that we won that fucking game.
Yeah, man. I mean, I think Dart, besides his talent, which is very clear, like you said, his poise and the leadership there is just, it just brings a different aspect to the team. You know, like you see, there's veteran leadership with Russ, and then, like I said before, the fire that Jackson Dart plays with is just infectious, and I think it just leads to positive things on for the offense as a whole. Like the offensive line, the pass blocking has been good enough for him to be able to maneuver in the pocket. I do think that's one of his greatest strengths as a quarterback, and I think that might be the thing I've been most impressed with in his first 3 games starting is his ability to move throughout the pocket and, you know, just make something happen in a broken play. Last week was a little rough against the Saints. The Saints have a great defensive front. I think the defense did a really good job, and, you know, he really bounced back in a big way. You know, no Jalen Carter. I know people might talk about that, but it didn't matter, man. Like, I don't think he took a sack, right?
No.
Or maybe he didn't take a sack last week or this past game.
I don't think he had one in this game.
Like I said, the pass blocking was incredible. Andrew Thomas, we'll talk about him probably a little bit later, but
there's no pro. You could be guaranteed.
He definitely will be all pro this year. Awards now. I don't think he's allowed. I don't think he's allowed pressure in
86 pass blocks.
I don't think he's allowed
pressure
since he's been back. No sacks allowed. Like, if there were any doubts about him, I'm sorry, you shouldn't have doubted him.
Well, excuse me. The trade Andrew Thomas conversations that were had.
It was like the trade Dex conversations. Like, you don't trade pillars, man.
While we're at it, let's fucking trade Jalen Brunson.
Yeah.
Like, sure, it's not 1-for-1, but Andrew Thomas is not a replaceable player. You don't just find the Andrew Thomas replacement in free agency. That doesn't just happen. It's not like he is the best player at the second most important position in this goddamn sport. Period. Full stop. Trent Williams has regressed. He's not the best left tackle anymore. It is Andrew Thomas. Barring health, there is not a thing that makes him anything less than a top 15 player in this league? Who maybe take the top 10 quarterbacks? Myles Garrett. I don't even know who's besides that. Do you take Puka and Jamar Chase and Justin Jefferson over him? Maybe. I'm not going to refute that stuff. But if you think that guy is not a top 15, top 20 player in this sport when he's healthy, you need to get educated. Because this guy flipped the entire season on his head along with Jackson Dart. When he's in, the Giants are an above average offensive line. When he does not play, they are brutally, abysmally, horrifically, disgustingly bad. They are probably one of the worst lines that we've seen. So with him commanding that left side, I mean, there is 15-year contract. That's all I can say. 15-year contract. I mean,
Lifetime
they're running these a play that the Rams and a lot of these kind of Shanahan offenses love to run, where they have the crackback blocking with the receivers. And you see the Rams run it with Puka. The Niners used to run a lot with Debo, and now they run a lot with Jawan because he's a great blocker. They were running that stuff with little Jordan Humphrey blocking defensive ends. And Andrew Thomas getting out to the boundary. Jermaine Illuminor, when they flipped this play, getting out to the boundary, blocking up at the second level, linebackers, safeties, crashing in. And for all the questions that we had about Cam Skadaboo, all the certainties we knew about Cam Skadaboo as a runner, he's going to run tough. He's going to break tackles, bounce off contact, get everything he can on a certain run. There was a question of, can this guy turn the corner at the NFL level? Can he do it against NFL athletes? He ran, I think it was a high 4.5, maybe close to a 4.6. And it's a fair question, right? Like, you see the tape. He's not a burner. He's obviously white. That plays into it. And he's built extremely stocky, right? Like, this guy is not built like the McCaffreys or the Chris Johnsons of the world, where, you can obviously tell by looking at them, they make their hay off of breaking away. You could take one look at this guy, at his legs, pause, and right away, okay, this guy is just somebody who forces you to make a hard tackle every single possession. Him turning the corner on those toss plays, him turning the corner on zone, or just even with the urgency that he gets upfield with on inside running plays, I did not expect that level of athleticism from him. And it's a very welcome sight to see that he outplayed Saquon. We're not gonna sit here and bullshit. Yeah. He is kind of a bigger thing than Saquon. Like in terms of how the franchise has kind of rallied around this kid in 6 weeks.
I will say, to play devil's advocate a little bit,
I'm not saying he's better than Saquon, by the way.
No. I hear what you're saying, but I will he and Dart as a duo, like, who does Saquon have? I guess Odell, but then he got traded. And then it was Daniel Jones.
The great.
The legendary Pro Bowl quarterback Daniel Jones, probably. But anyways, back to what you were saying about Scat. Like, he runs with such anger and such force. It's like a guaranteed 4 yards a play. He's averaging 4 yards a carry this year, 4.1 yards a carry to be exact, 82 rushes for 338 yards. That includes 2 rushes for -3 yards against the Commanders. And then since then, 4.1 yards a carry against Dallas, 6 yards a carry against the Chiefs, 4 yards a carry last week against the Saints, and then this week, 19 for 98, 3 touchdowns, 5.2 yards a carry. The run blocking is not great, to put it lightly, and he just finds a way to just make it happen. And I do think that now the NFL athletes are like, even at the NFL level, this kid can fucking hit, and he's gonna he's going to wear defenses down, and it's very clear throughout the game. Like we saw, like you said in the opener, 6 minutes left in the game, no fucking problem to ice it. Just run to Andrew Thomas's side, Bellinger at the fullback, power formation, 13-yard chunk plays. I think he had at least 2 rushes of 10 plus on that drive, if not 3. And that just fucking put the game away, man. It's really exciting to see that he can produce at the NFL level because we needed a hit like this. And I also do think once Tracy's fully healthy, that duo is going to be really nice. It's going to be a really good change of pace because I think Tracy has a bit more of that speed and finesse to him.
Yeah,
like that'll be a really good combination of talent. And speaking of the run blocking, I do think it got better once JMS came out. Schlotman did a surprisingly good job. And I don't know, that's probably a combination of the defense being tired at a certain point, but I did think that was noteworthy.
It's funny because I thought this was JMS's best game of his career up until he got hurt. So
yeah.
I don't know if that
eye test.
Yeah.
Watch the game live.
Yeah. I don't know if it's a referendum on him that I thought it was the best game of his career, and then Schlotman came in and did kind of better. Or
well,
what
do you think? Like, it could be just me that the run blocking got better, but
I think more so than anything, it was probably a defeated Eagles team that was like,
that's
you got it. You guys got it.
Yeah.
If I had to guess that's probably what it was. But there's just this interior, like you said with Cam and how he's pretty much getting more than 4 yards a clip.
It's
and
4
even
yards,
last night,
like 4 yards with contact, and then he drags defenders for another 2 or 3.
I mean, it's more yards with defenders on him.
I really wish. Sorry to cut you off. I need if the tush push is allowed, you should let Cam Scadaboo carry 5 dudes into the end zone before blowing the play dead. In my personal opinion,
that's a good fucking point, man.
Like we can't have the rule be they've stopped progressing forward, and then the linemen are so like we see so many times. We saw like 4 times on Thursday. Scout will be just chugging along. A couple linemen will get there late, but they'll blow the whistle dead, and we're still moving forward 2 or 3 yards. And then the Eagles come down and run the tush push 4 fucking times in a row with false starts that aren't called. Whatever. I digress. But
I have so much
just a
smoke
fucking
for the
monster.
fucking tush push.
And I'm curious to see what his yards after contact are. I don't have those numbers up right now, unfortunately. But
well, to make up for it, I'll say this. I'll say this to make up for it. This past Thursday, in the running game, the Giants were plus 0.2 EPA per play on running plays. 95th percentile on this NFL season. The Eagles were minus 0.1 EPA per play on rushing plays. 57th percentile. And that's shocking because they were negative and they were still above the median line. So I can tell you right now, being a 95th percentile running, having a 95th percentile running result in this game is not because of Greg Van Roten and John Runyon. I'll tell you that right now. Because on the rewatch, there were many plays where I wrote down, I can't wait to fucking upgrade from Greg Van Roten. Like,
the
and
interior
he is what he is.
So brutal to watch.
He is a whatever it is, $2.5 million vet.
Yeah,
essentially vet minimum player. Like that's what he is. Everybody knows it. I'm sure fucking Greg knows it himself, and it just is what it is. Evan Neal, you could have been starting, but you suck. Sorry. No matter how much positivity we have on this podcast, I will continue to shit on Evan Neal. That's one thing that I love doing.
I feel like that's always
So,
warranted.
so that 95th percentile, like I said, it's not from the guards. It's not from Austin Schlottman coming in the last 6
Respect
minutes.
Austin Schlottman.
It's majority from Kemp Scadaboo just running through a motherfucker face, like Marshawn Lynch said how many years ago. It's mostly from that. It's whenever this guy gets hit, his helmet is tucked. It's going right into your chest plate, and he's going to push you back for a yard and a half, 2 yards. That's just what's going to happen. And there's a chain reaction to all that stuff, right? Like instead of being 2nd and 7, you're 2nd and 5. And on 2nd and 5, you can more confidently call another another run play if you want to get to 3rd and 1. Or you can call a run play. Or guess what? You can finally call play action and have it be effective. Because how long has it been since our running game was really, really respected? Probably that 2021 season when Saquon went off.
Yeah.
That's probably it. So,
yeah,
that was great. Our passing EPA per play was 68th percentile. And then this is from Doug. Sorry, go ahead.
The Hyatt. I don't know if this is involved in the calculation, but the Hyatt drop was pretty rough on the PI call. And Theo had like 2 drops on the first possession of the game. So I do think the output could have been higher than what it actually was. Anyways,
yeah, I want to have the Theo conversation too.
I think Dart had a fucking phenomenal game is the point, and I do want to talk about that a little bit more later in the episode.
Dart right now through 3 starts ranks 18th in EPA per play among all quarterbacks. So
actually, let's fucking have the Dart conversation right now. Why not?
That's fine. We've been bouncing around a lot, so we'll do Dart right now. Before you hop in, he's already a league average quarterback through 3 starts as a rookie.
That is not shocking to hear at all. I mean, like, I think he's the first quarterback, or he and Mahomes are the only 2 quarterbacks in NFL history to lead a touchdown drive on opening drive in their first 3 starts of their career. Yep. There's also, I can't remember what the time period was. I believe it was 1975. Lamar, and I can't remember the third quarterback. It might have been Jaden Daniels are the only 3 quarterbacks since 1975 to have 50+ rushing yards in their first 3 starts in their career. He's doing it all, man. Like, it's really impressive to see. Like we keep talking about his maneuverability in the pocket, like just getting around these elite defensive fronts to, be honest, like Chargers, Saints, Eagles for your first 3 starts of your career, and you're putting up like historical rushing numbers as a rookie quarterback. That's pretty impressive stuff. And it really opens up the passing game too. You can see, like you talked about with the play action, the combination of he and Scat as a rushing duo. We didn't see a lot of option plays this past week, but it's worked a little bit. It definitely worked in the Chargers game, worked a little bit in the Saints game too. And then, his efficiency in the pocket, 17 for 25. The volume isn't very high right now because it didn't need to be on Thursday, but 68% completion percentage, 195 yards and a touchdown. His throw to little Jordan Humphrey, he still has to work on the deep ball, in my opinion, like placement, power, honestly, just like getting his feet set so he can make the best throw possible. But I thought he put it in a really good position for Humphrey to go up and get it. I am very happy to see that we actually elevated him from the practice squad for this game. I genuinely thought there was a shot that we could put him, or we would go into another game with Hyatt and Bo Collins as wide receivers 2 and 3. But we also saw that training camp preseason chemistry carry over between those 2. So I hope he gets elevated again next week.
He's on the roster, in my opinion. Like that should be.
He should be. I mean, I'm still like, how are we not actually making a move at receiver? But I don't know.
I think it's a little more nuanced. Like I don't want to kill Joe Shane for it. Like because at the end of the day, you always have to have a trade partner to make a trade.
Yeah. Fair enough.
we're around 30-minute mark. So real quick, our great sponsor, FanDuel. We love FanDuel, and every week, for those who aren't familiar with what we do over here, we have a segment called Spread 'em, where we pick our favorite spread lines of the week. And what do you want to do? You want to do like two of them? You want to do three of them? Because I kind of do want to go back to the Giants, but FanDuel is
Yeah,
a
let's do
great
two.
sponsor, so we have to show FanDuel some love.
Let's run
All right.
two each, or maybe three total.
I think that KC minus 2.5 is absolutely ridiculous for Sunday night. They're at home, which obviously Arrowhead matters, but they're at home
Yeah.
against the Lions. Still no Rashee Rice. They haven't looked like KC for I know it's about like a season and a half now, but they still haven't looked dominant per se. Like if Jackson's Art starts week 3 against the Chiefs, do the Giants win that game? Who knows? Maybe.
I might say yes.
like right? So
with Malik Neighbors healthy, I might lean yes.
there you go. So essentially Lions being plus 2.5, you're getting essentially field goal with the Lions. They're just better right now. They're better top to bottom. Obviously, there's the gap between Mahomes and Goff, but Goff has still been maintaining a high level of play without Ben Johnson. And Amon-Ra St. Brown is Amon-Ra St. Brown. Without Trent McDuffie, they're probably following him. I don't really trust Jalen Watson, or I forgot the name of the new slot now that McDuffie's pretty much traveling. I don't trust them to be able to defend the B, C, and D options on the Lions. Like Laporta will probably have his way with Drew Tranquil. Jameson Williams will probably cook Jalen Watson.
Yeah.
I don't love the vibes around KC even post Ravens victory, because the Ravens are just right now they're a joke. Let's call it what it is. Right now they're probably not one of the best 20 teams in football. So
no, I mean they just had the loss they did against the Jaguars.
Yeah. So I really like Lions getting points. Like you're getting the better team. You are top to bottom just a team with more momentum. They know, well, I should say the Chiefs know next week we're getting Rashee Rice back. So I wonder if part of that plays into it. And you never want to accuse a team of like giving away a game in the NFL, but I wonder how it affects their mindset. Are they like, okay, whatever happens, we know we're getting Rashee Rice back next week. Do they take their foot off the gas a little bit? With a 52.5 point total, I don't see the Chiefs getting anywhere near 3 points better than the Lions with how these offenses have looked. So, yeah, it's not very scheme dependent take or anything like that. I just think the Lions right now are playing at way too high of a level to be given 3 points against the team that's 2-3, and honestly not playing that well.
Yeah, like I don't think they've been playing well enough to the Arrowhead pump shouldn't be like 7 points. I think if anything, the Lions should be favored by a field goal, if not more. So I like that. I'm also looking at another primetime game. Speaking of Ben Johnson, the Bears are
My
I know they're
sweetest
playing at
baby.
Washington, but they're plus 4.5. Coming off a good comeback win against the Raiders. The Commanders are again without Terry McLaurin. And the Bears defense has been good. The Commanders offense, I know they just put up numbers against the Chargers. The Chargers defense is not entirely healthy, which definitely gives them a boost. So I don't hate that coming for the Bears. Build a little momentum coming off that comeback win against the Raiders. Plus 4.5 at the Commanders.
I think the shittiest game of this week is Titans Raiders.
I would not touch that game.
I'm not touching that game. I promise you. I just wanted to make a general blanket statement.
That is disgusting. Yeah.
I like. Sorry, go ahead.
Bengals, even with Flacco, plus 14.5 at the Packers is ridiculous.
What side are you on that? Like, are you saying it
I
shouldn't get
think
that many
Flacco
points?
makes the Bengals offense better than people think.
I agree. Yeah.
I also think 14.5 points is ridiculous for an NFL team.
I just don't think like garbage time exists.
I know. And like
And
I know we
worry
just saw
time about a backdoor cover in this game.
the Ravens get absolutely obliterated. Maybe was it last week? They lost by like 30 something.
Was it a lot? It was one of those weeks. Pretty much every week besides week 1 has been them getting
they just got smoked by the Texans 44-10.
Yes, that's who it was.
And like that defense is really banged up. But despite how good or how bad the Bengals defense is, I don't think the Packers offense is good enough to take advantage of it consistently. Like I think Love could throw a pick or two like close to the red zone in situations he shouldn't. And like you said, backdoor coverage exists, garbage time exists. Flacco might be very solid, and he'll actually get Jamar the ball. So I didn't expect this to be a pick'em of mine, but maybe I will throw a little shout at plus 14.5 for the Bengals because that's kind of just insane to me.
So with the line being 14.5, they're saying that this game is going to be 29.5. So with the total line for the game being 44.5, 29.5 for Green Bay, 15 for the Bengals. Even if Green Bay gets to 32,
I think the Bengals score like 24, 21.
I'm not worried about Joe Flacco coming in and having to learn a new scheme. I'm not worried about
It's Joe Flacco, man.
The guy,
Super Bowl quarterback.
Yeah, he's been around this game for 20 years now.
Yeah.
So
took the Browns to the playoffs like 3 years ago.
I really, really do not like Green Bay against the spread. That's for sure. I'm a little bit hesitant to bet on either side at all, but if I would totally take the Green Bay. The Bengals side of plus 14.5. My other line that I like a lot this week is Rams minus 7.5 against the Ravens. Being in Baltimore,
also had that highlighted. I like that.
I don't care about being in Baltimore. Home field advantage does not exist for a team that's as bad as the Ravens are right now,
or a team that's as good as the Rams are right now.
Yes, also true. The Rams are just playing at weight. This is more a Rams thing than the Ravens. The Rams are playing way too good right now to be 3-2. They should have beaten the Eagles. They got that kick blocked, and then they had the game against the Niners, which was probably the worst game of the season and a big letdown. But also, they were in a position to win that game, and then Kyrie Williams fumbled at the goal line. So you're talking about two extremely narrow losses, a team that's 3-2 that probably feels they should be 5-0, and now they're going into Baltimore, a team that has a backup quarterback, a team that's very much in a tumultuous situation right now with all the things they have going on between the record and then Lamar sitting out. Derrick Henry throwing fits on the sideline every single week whenever he has his next fumble. I really do not like the vibes in Baltimore. I really think that the Rams are going to be pissed off. And the travel day doesn't scare me. Like, even though it's a 1 p.m. game with the travel, it doesn't scare me. I think the Rams are a good enough coach team. I think Puka Nacua and Matthew Stafford and Devontae Adams are a good enough trio as experienced as the other two are and as young as Puka still is. I think that they just are going to be too prepared. The Ravens don't have anything on the back end to cover right now between Kyle Hamilton being hurt or just flat out kind of not being good for whatever reason. Marlon Humphrey doing his podcasts. We're just betting against the Ravens this week. Until they show us to not bet against them, we're going to bet against them.
Yeah, I mean, the Texans were like a bottom 5 offense in football, and they just put an easy 44 on the Ravens.
I mean, Nick Chubb had a breakaway run.
I love Nick Chubb, but in 2025, man, come on.
It's a big 2025.
the big 2025. But I think I don't have another pick 'em. I think that was a good place to end it because I also had that one highlighted and you kind of covered
Let me
all of
see.
them.
Let's see if we can give the viewers one more free money glitch.
If no money glitch.
Damn, we spent 10 minutes on this already.
I don't know how I feel about anything else this week, to be honest with you.
I like Colts minus 6.5. With our good friend Daniel Jones, Colts minus 6.5. I'm not going to dive into that.
I will not call him that, but I don't hate that pick at all.
Okay.
He is no one's friend in New York.
No, he is our friend.
Joe Shane and John Mara.
No, he's not Joe Shane's friend.
No, he's not Joe Shane's friend at all. Joe Shane got robbed blind by him.
Daniel Jones, like when people walk into the building of Daniel Jones's agency, there's just going to be statues of his agents, like in the lobby. They're going to have like a water fountain around it and everything. It's going to be real nice. They're going to have the plaque on the bottom. Robbed John Mara and Joe Shane.
Yeah. Year contract. This is not based on anything but gut feeling, but for some reason I kind of like the Niners plus 3.5 against the Bucks.
Oh, I didn't like that. That's interesting.
I mean, it's for the sole reason that it's not 3. Like the Bucks have been playing sole comeback football this year. Mac Jones has looked surprisingly incredible as a starting quarterback with no weapons. So like I said, not based on fact or anything that I know about the game of football, but purely gut feeling. Definitely not free money though.
Do they have a walk-off win for all 4 victories this year?
Yeah.
Holy shit.
And it's 3.5. So
walk-off last week. Eagles beat them. Walk-off against the Jets. Walk-off against the Texans. Walk-off against the Falcons. Yeah. Holy shit. That's hilarious.
So there you go.
Oh, man.
If I actually had to look at something else, I'd probably be looking at Chargers minus 4.5 against the Dolphins.
I'm kind of
have to make that difficult. Maybe not.
I don't know if I trust the Chargers to be traveling right now. Like I know I had the whole spiel about like the Rams coming over to Baltimore, and it doesn't matter to me, but that's Stafford and McVay, like with Puka and Devontae Adams, and they're going to be buttoned up, and I just trust that program a lot more still, and I respect the Dolphins right now a whole lot more than the Ravens, which is crazy to say. Like week 6 saying that, I did not think that was going to be happening before the season.
Especially since the Dolphins don't have Tyreek either.
I don't even. They have Darren Waller, who's the best tight end in football.
Former Giant doing his thing.
Did the rage bait get you?
No, almost. It went through my head.
I wish the rage bait worked more.
This one skipped past me, but the Bills play the Falcons on Monday at 7:15 for some reason.
Well, it's the Monday doubleheader.
Yeah, I'm not complaining, but the Bills are minus 4.5. I don't know if the Falcons are playing that good of football. I think the Bills are going to be locked in coming off that loss against the Patriots. I know that they know they shouldn't have lost that game, and I think they're going to be out for blood a little bit. So I could see them just running the table with the Falcons.
Do you know what else is on Monday, Luca?
What else is on Monday, Con?
Columbus Day. Congratulations to you and all the other Italian Americans out there.
Random shout.
I wanted to see if you'd be like, nope, don't actually like Columbus Day.
I mean, I can't say I'm a fan.
That's what I was trying to get at of you.
Definitely not my favorite holiday ever.
All right.
50 minutes on Pick'em and not Columbus Day. Let's get back to like the Giants.
45 minutes. Yeah, 45 minutes in. First comment going up from Chris Bernhard. Wins are always great. I don't know what those are, but it's more important for the Queston Oda 17. Get on board. Everyone, depression is on the what? What do you mean? I don't know where this is coming from. Queston Oda 17, first one ever. Must be a Jets comment. Has to be a Jets comment. I'm pretty sure that's a Jets comment. Listen, if we're gonna do a little Jets thing real quick, I didn't like Aaron Glenn hiring. I hated it from the minute it got announced. I hated it from the minute it was rumored. If you go back and look at his resume as a coach, there's not a lot going on that's real positive.
He kind of just
he kind of just is a guy who people like a lot. Like,
you can't get around as just the personality hire in the NFL, unfortunately.
And the way that he carried himself with the media and saying, we're the goddamn Jets and we're built for this shit. Brother, you got to understand what you're walking into, man. Like, this is not you picking up a job with the Ravens. This is not you picking up a job with the Packers or what's now been a winning franchise for a long time with the Buccaneers. Like, this is not one of those teams, man. You can't say something like that when you are the coach of the Jets. That's not like how you start to build a culture over there. Bringing, like, I don't want to call it arrogance and being brash, but it definitely is at least overconfidence. And bringing that type of overconfidence to a team that was just a victim of their own overconfidence with Sauce and to a lesser extent Garrett Wilson, because Garrett Wilson's backed it up a whole lot more than Sauce has. But like, knowing that with the influence of Aaron Rodgers and how Rob Saleh kind of let the guys manage themselves in the locker room and kind of let the egos go unchecked, you can't go in there and say that we're built for this and we're going to put the work in before putting the work in. You got to let the work show first. I think that from the minute Glenn carried that kind of mindset into the building and talked before they put any type of field work or week one Cinderella comeback win, it just really rubbed me the wrong way. The defenses in Detroit, whenever they had Aiden Hutchinson, they were great. When they didn't have Aiden Hutchinson, they weren't good. What does that tell you? Probably wasn't doing too much to help put his players in advantageous spots. Amik Robertson came in. They had all their DBs hurt. Stuck with Amik Robertson in man-to-man coverage, and it costed them a playoff game against Washington. You did not have the personnel to run man-to-man that entire game, and that's all he stuck with. Throughout his time in Detroit, that was all he stuck with. And not to say that man or zone is better in a certain scheme or a scheme preference, whatever. My main point is that as a DC, the adjustments were not commonly there. A lot of D-line development, I'll give him that, but besides Ali McNeil's of the world and Aiden Hutchinson and a couple other guys, a lot of their success is good personnel and positive game script, being able to know when the other team is in a run situation or a passing situation. And I hate to say Jets fans, I told you so, but he's probably looking like a 2-year fire, potentially a 1-year fire. And I don't think they should hesitate to fire him this year if guys like Clint Kubiak, the LaFleur brother, who I think is Mike LaFleur, if those guys are willing and able to take a head coach job, they should be able to fire Aaron Glenn and not look twice at it.
Yeah. I mean, I know they're dealing with some injuries on the O-line. Like losing AVT again really, really hurts. Fields hasn't looked particularly incredible. I can't say that I wouldn't have seen that coming, but I'm not going to.
No, actually, he's thrown for 3 touchdowns in the fourth quarter, so he's good.
Remember how we talked about garbage time before?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
I'm just going to leave it there.
That's the garbage man.
Yeah, that is he's on my fantasy team. He does me very well. Thank you, garbage man. But like Brees isn't looking very explosive behind that O line. Like I said, the AVT injury kind of really hurts their run blocking.
Yeah.
And now losing Braylon, their run game's really paying the price. The defense has not been particularly impressive. Sauce. I think we did. When did we do the? We did the Giants Jets mock, and I think we talked briefly about what the future of these Jets star player contract should look like. And
Yeah.
I think I said that I'd rather them trade Sauce, if not both Sauce and Brees. And looking like I might have been right. I have no idea if they gauge the market. I have no idea what the market value would have looked like for them. I'd be shocked if they didn't actually try to see what the market value was for them. But looking at where it is now, I don't think either of their value could be lower. Sauces, especially, like I said about Brees, he could be given a little bit of the benefit of the doubt because the O line isn't great. Might be able to bounce back on a team with a better O line, but it's looking unfortunate over there, man.
The Sauce contract is underwater already. There's no team that's going to take on that contract.
They should have gotten that like 2 years ago, man.
I mean, there was a time when this guy was worth 3-4 first-round picks.
Yeah.
And listen, I wouldn't have traded him after his rookie season. I probably wouldn't have traded him after his sophomore season. But
what year are we in now?
I think he's the Kayvon draft class, so he's year 4.
Okay. I might have traded him. I said, I would at least.
I would have shipped him off this
after year 2. Yeah, like we talked about a couple months ago.
Yeah,
this would have been the time.
From John Paracelli, hot take: the Saints' loss was good for Jackson Dart, humbled him and locked him in.
I don't know if losses are ever good per se, but I don't hate that perception of it. You can definitely see that it locked him in, though. Like we talked about, he made it a point to make quicker decisions, I thought, whether that be getting the ball out hot or knowing that he's going to get outside the pocket and kind of just try to make shit shake. But I definitely do think it humbled him. We had 5 turnovers in that game. He had 3. He had 2 picks and the fucking fumble.
Well, I want to say real quick, the last pick, like, people brought that up as like he had 2 interceptions. The game was a 2-possession game. It was 4th down late in the 4th quarter.
Throw it up.
Picks are not created equal. That pick was totally fine. Like, it's okay. Yeah. You could throw that pick.
I'll give them the fumble. The fumble was atrocious. The first pick also not great, but he bounced back in a giant way last week. And to John's
pun intended.
Pause.
Pun intended.
Pun intended. Yes. I mean, we smoked the reigning champs on national TV on a short week, coming off like the loss that we all had circled as like the one team we could beat this year for sure.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It feels pretty good, man. Shout out to Jackson Dart.
Another one from John. 3 cheap wide receiver names: Dontavian Wicks, Marvin Mims, Adonai Mitchell. They can't pay them all. Let's shop. Who's shopping, dude? Not me.
Not Joe Shane.
Probably not Joe Shane. I don't think.
Probably
I thought the Olave stuff was realistic because, one, he gives you a level above what you have in house, and I think he'd be open to doing a framework around what we discussed on here. I think you were on here, Luca, when we talked about it. 2nd round pick for Olave and some kind of returning pick, whether that's a 4th or a 5th, whatever the case may be. I thought that would be something that's attractive to this team because they don't have the 3rd round pick this year. So Excuse me, I got a cough. I'm gonna cough up a fucking lung right now. Hold on. Sorry, I'm good now. I'm good.
Cheap would be nice.
Yeah, I muted the mic so people don't have to be subjected to that. But I thought they'd be open to that because you're not trading away a draft asset for a singular player. You're trading it for a player and another draft asset, so you're kind of staying in the draft, even though you're not as leveraged with the pick being further down. So I thought that was a bit more realistic, but like you probably needed to beat the Saints last week in order to make them feel like they're like sellers at the deadline. So that sucks. And then these teams are all in contention to varying degrees. Like the Packers are not trading Latavian Wicks when Jaden Reed is not healthy right now. Marvin Mims is not getting traded when the Broncos want to make some type of noise. Adonai Mitchell, maybe you can pry him out of Indianapolis, but like that team is another one that wants to win a division. They want to see if they can win a playoff game, multiple playoff games. And even if he's wide receiver 4, it's somebody who they have under contract for 2 more seasons at a rookie deal. So I don't think any of those guys can honestly be had. If Jaden Reed was healthy, I'd say maybe you can steal Dontavian Wicks. But unfortunately, I don't think any of those guys are getting traded. And I'd be surprised if the other team even picks up the phone, because any reasonable deal for those guys is probably nothing more than a 5th. If you're them, why do you trade them for a 5th? You know what I mean? So it doesn't seem like these teams are fit right now, in my opinion.
You said you talked about trading a 2nd and a 5th for Olave. Speaking of trading a 2nd and a 5th for players, Brian Burns is really fucking good. I did want to talk about the D-line a little bit.
Yeah.
2 sacks again on Thursday. Kind of just like, this is definitely a combination of the Eagles play calling being absolutely fucking atrocious and Jalen Hurts not really being able to throw much against man, or against zone, rather.
It seems like he can't throw to his good receivers.
I think he has a really hard time letting them make plays in space against zone, because he's just like efficiency man, and I'll take the 4-yard I'll take the 4-yard check down for like 3 yards of yak every play, and then we'll hand off to Saquon for 5 yards and we'll touch push. So that is definitely, a combination of things. But like I said, 2 sacks again for Burns on Thursday. I'll let you talk about Dex, because I had a feeling you're really excited about that. Kayvon again showed up. Abdul had a couple pressures, but I want to highlight Burns because he's on pace he has 7 sacks through 6 games this year. That'll put him on pace for, I think, 19 and a half sacks. If I can do that math very quickly.
I think that checks out
off the top of my head. So right now, like I said, gave up a 2nd and a 5th for him. The big value or non-value in that would have been the contract extension. Like you said, that's looking very, very nice for us. He has 7 sacks, tied for 1st in the NFL, 22 pressures, 11 QB hits, which is 5th, 9 tackles for loss, which is tied for 1st, 3 batted passes, and he's tied for 10th in pressure rate this year. So just talking about all-pro players, putting together an all-pro campaign for a guy who's never had a double-digit sack season. Looks like he might finally be having his breakout year next to the other 2 edges in the edge room and Big Dex up front. Like this year, all 3 Giants edges have over 20 pressures. Kayvon has 22, Burns has 23, and Abdul leads the pack with 24. He's really fucking good, dude. Those counting stats are going to start showing up eventually, but he's nasty. I'll leave it there until we start seeing the results, but they're going to start soon. I think he finishes the year with like 8 sacks.
With the Burns contract. The edge rushers who are getting paid near his salary. Josh Sweat makes a decent bit less. He got 480, which is nine. He actually got 476, so 19 million a year. Burns got 28 million a year. Joshua Hines Allen got 28 million a year. Bradley Chubb is at 18. Then you kind of get into the tier of guys who you don't even want to mention too much, like Bryce Huff got 17 million a year. A couple other guys, but we'll leave it at those big ticket item players. Then you go down to some of the other DNs, like Trey Hendrickson is at $29 million this year. Nick Bosa is at 34. Crosby's at 36. Daniil Hunter is at 36. Montez Sweat's at 24. Nick Bonito's at 27. Andrew Van Ginkel, 23. George Karlaftis, shout out Lava, 22.
Andrew Van Ginkel's at 23. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Jonathan Grenard is at 20. Khalil Mack's at 20. Alex Highsmith, 17.
How good is Brian Burns' contract? Like, what are we putting that as like a top blank contract in the NFL in terms of value?
I would say not, but what I would say is that for edge rushers, this is one of the better contracts in the sport.
Oh, well, there's no doubt about that.
So when he signed his deal, right, which was the summer of last year, the big stink that was made out of it was I think they were saying he hadn't had a 10-sack season yet. I think that was something people said earlier. He hadn't had it in like the last 2 years, something along those lines. And, oh my God, you're paying this guy. He is not even close to a top 5 edge rusher, and you're giving him top 5 or top 8 money, whatever it was at the time.
And injury concerns were a big part of it too.
Which the injury concern thing is something people will never, ever learn. A player is hurt until they aren't hurt, and then people just forget about the injury tag. Like Christian McCaffrey went 3 seasons without missing a game, and he was no longer injury prone. And then 2 years ago, he pulls a hammy. He's injury prone. The next season, he plays all 16 games. People forget about it. Then the year after that, he has the Achilles tendinopathy. Now he's injury prone again. And this season, through 6 games, he has had with 30 touches a game. So it's like the injury stuff, you kind of just have to remember this is fucking football. Like that's kind of just what it is. Same thing with Andrew Thomas that we talked about earlier in the pod.
Football injuries happen, dude. Like it's a contact sport, and I don't know. We don't have to get into that too much.
So the Brian Burns contract is right now a $17 million cap hit this year, 34 the year after that, 36. I do not care for his cap hit. He deserves every single bit of money that he's making. And it's also on the books for 4 more years. There's going to be a TV deal that comes in and explodes the cap. So really his cap hit for all these upcoming seasons to me could not matter less. Now, what I said at the time was this is a 5-year deal. By year 3, he's going to be outside of the top 10 to 15 edge rusher salaries per season. And people will look back and be like, oh, that's actually kind of how contracts work. Everybody gets paid more than the next guy. And then by the end of the deal, you look back and you say, oh, I shouldn't have reacted that harshly. So let's take a look at the deals right now. First of all, he already got beaten out by Josh Hines Allen with his new deal in that same offseason.
And that's a rookie deal too, right? Rookie extension.
Well, they both extended off of their rookie deal.
Yeah.
So not to say Josh Hines Allen is a bad player. He's very, very good. Brian Burns is better than him.
Yeah.
Micah Parsons, Nick Bosa, Myles Garrett. Nick Bosa was not this season, but Micah Parsons, Myles Garrett, TJ Watt, Max Crosby, Nick Bonito were all this season. Those deals, AAV of $46.5 million, $40 million, 41, 35.5, 27. And then you get into Karlaftis, like I said, who was 22. Montez Sweat 2 years ago, at 27 years old, signed for 4 years, $100 million. With Brian Burns at 25, signed for $3 million a year more while being 2 years younger and much better.
He's so much better than Montez Sweat is.
Nick Bosa at 25, who's had 2 ACL tears now, by the way. 5 years, $170 million. Right now, with the fact that he's missed 2 seasons with ACL tears, and that's not some small injury, it's not the random hamstring tear, that's not the broken wrist that sometimes happens to people. It's like this is a ligamentous injury that saps a lot of athleticism for a lot of players, and he's had it twice. I'd rather have the Burns contract right now, probably straight up, $6 million a year less. Somebody who's might be a better player right now, certainly is the more available
Arguable.
player.
Yep.
This deal is probably one of the top 6 to 8 edge contracts. You have the Crosby deal, which is fantastic. That's 35.5. He's making $10 million less than Micah Parsons, which is obviously a value deal there. There's just nothing to complain about with this deal. And when you look at guys who are going to come up and get paid soon, Trayvon Walker's going to get paid soon. Eric Armstead is 1 year left on his deal. He'll get paid again. You're going to have guys like Jonathan Cooper coming up and getting paid probably in the next year and a half. Alex Highsmith is going to get paid again coming up soon. Leonard Williams, even though he doesn't technically count as an edge, he's more of a 3-tech. He's going to get paid again. Kayvon's going to get paid. And even Kayvon might end up – say it again?
Kayvon, do we want to talk about – we'll talk about that after.
We'll talk about right after. Yeah. Van Ginkel is, by the way, on a 1-year deal. So he'll get extended, and he might even get more than that $23 million that he's on this season.
Yeah. I mean, I see his – like, you hear the name and the price tag, and you're like, holy shit. And then it's like Van Ginkel in perfect scheme, and you're like, okay.
Yeah.
Sure.
Let's do the Kayvon thing now, because I went through all the key names and I kind of bitched about everything and all that stuff. So, right now, I think I would do Kayvon. Well, let's see what. I mean, I would give him the Montez Sweat contract for sure. For 100, I'd give him that. Definitely. I'd give him the Benito contract.
I mean, he had a 10-sack season in his rookie year, right?
Yeah,
he had double-digit sack season in his rookie year.
I think it might have been year 2, but it was one of those years.
Yeah, or no, he became the first edge rusher to have 10 sacks with Wink, I think was the thing. I don't think he had that in his rookie year. Anyways, he has a double-digit sack season. He might be on his way to one this year. I think is he at 3.5 sacks or something this year? 4.5 sacks?
I know he was at 3 before the Eagles game.
I don't think he had. He might have had
2.5.
Sorry, 2.5 sacks.
2.5.
Okay, so maybe he won't hit 10 this season, but I think
these guys also run hot. Like he might have a game where he has 2, and then over the next 2 weeks he has 1, and then 2 sacks, and you're like, oh shit, 5 sacks in 3 games. Now you're right there.
I will say, though, I feel a lot better about extending him than I would have 4 months ago before training camp started, because I think now we're finally seeing him put all of the pieces together of being like just a good edge in the NFL. The pressures have been there. Like I said, he has 20+ pressures already. He's been way better in the run game. And he's just generating consistent pressure efficiently with the rest of this edge group. And like I said, I think it comes down to seeing if you want to keep him around or not, or see if he has any value on the market and you want to test out, trading for a receiver on a 1-year deal who might extend or something of that nature. But I would extend him personally for that price tag, the $25 a year.
Am I choppy right now on the live stream?
Yeah, Tad.
Can you still hear me?
Yeah.
Fuck. Why am I getting hit with the Schwinn? All right. Okay. All right. I think my laptop's overheating. That's what's going on. Before the season, I had the thought of trading him for Olave. He's not getting traded for Chris Olave right now. Like he
is way more valuable than Chris Olave right now.
And I think the luxury that the Giants have is with Abdul being on his rookie deal with the 5th-year option. you can kind of line things up to where when Brian Burns' contract is up, you don't have to extend Brian Burns. And I know it's kind of
how old is Burns after his contract?
30.
I hear. Yeah. Okay. Continue. Sorry.
I'm not like penciling in to not get extended or whatever. You have the option of paying him again or not paying him again. And what you can do is, if you think Abdul is at that level, which I think in 3 years he will be a top 8 edge rusher. I went conservative when I said 8, but I think he could be top 5, top 3.
He might be like, counting stats notwithstanding, he might be top 12 already.
Counting stats, but like to me, the pressure and the QB hits. When you say that, are you saying sacks?
Like sacks do matter at a certain point in the NFL, but like he has the pressures, like clearly, and he has the QB hits, and honestly, he's getting held. This whole edge room gets held more than any other edge room I've seen in the NFL, and we never get any fucking calls for it, and I'm kind of tired. But I digress.
It just is what it is. We have to eat that shit, unfortunately.
Abdul's special though.
You have the option of kind of being able to land the plane on the Burns contract and shift that money to Abdul because they line up timeline wise. And then I think Kayvon is just the guy, like, dude, you just keep Kayvon around. Like, it doesn't matter where he ranks on the edge room. It's just good to have that kind of stabilizing name, stabilizing force, whatever you want to call it. And you're always in a continuous cycle of like draft, replenish, develop, right? Like always trying to churn these guys. And what that edge room has given them is not only fantastic production this season, but the confidence to move money around in their current deals with Burns and pushing money to the later 2 seasons because he's still going to be fantastic.
Yeah.
Or the confidence to pay Kayvon, push that money back, and then potentially use it to get D tackle, interior O-line, right? All that type of stuff. So I guess this is a long-winded way of saying pay Kayvon. I'd be good paying Kayvon up to 125 probably.
Yeah.
And
I probably wouldn't go past 25 annually.
I don't think it's going to be necessary. Like, Benito got 26.5 and his resume was better than Kayvon's.
Yeah, I mean, I could honestly see Kayvon getting I could very easily see him getting the sweat deal. I think he probably maxes out at like 22.5.
I would say as of whatever today is, October 11th.
11th at 1:47 p.m.
If Kayvon and his agent came to the table and we talked about 5 years, $115 million, which is what, $23 million a season, I think they would take it. Yeah, but I would go up as high as that. I would go up as high as 130, I think, which is 26, and Benito got 26.5.
Yeah, so, I think Benito has the better resume. So like I'd probably try to pay him less. I mean, not I think. He definitely has a better resume.
Yeah.
So I'd definitely try to pay him less, but I wouldn't. That wouldn't be like a what the fuck are you doing Joe Shane moment if Kayvon got 26.5.
Think about the type of victory it is for Joe Shane to pay Kayvon when everybody was shitting on him through 3 seasons.
Yeah, and I also just think there's something important, like something to be said about keeping the chemistry together in that front seven, because having the ability to shift Abdul inside and have him work stunts with. I mean, Burns literally got a sack off of working a stunt with Abdul when Abdul was lined up inside.
I mean, fucking finally, man.
Yeah, it's been 6 weeks in the making. I can't wait for Abdul to finally get his first like monster rep sack of the season because he has monster reps. And
yeah,
the Herbert. I said this went live when it happened in the group chat, but I really needed that intentional grounding on Herbert to be made a sack. Hashtag make that a sack.
I don't think it ever can be made into a sack is like the problem. It's just like
Who's
NFL
grounding? No.
stat keeping.
Yeah, I know. And then,
Did your mic just cut out?
they need to change the rule.
Yeah.
Was my
I know.
whole point.
I hear you.
But anyways, those guys are really fucking good.
I think
And
this is a good place to drop it. I kind of got
yeah,
a little bit.
I do think last thoughts on the D line. In many a preview of the season, especially leading up to the draft and after we drafted Abdul, I think we talked ad nauseum about how ridiculously good this D line could be and where it places in, yeah, and where they stack up in the NFL. Do you think we have the best line in the NFL, starting D line in the NFL?
No, not yet.
Who do you think's better right now? I think I know who you might say.
The Rams.
Yep.
I think the Rams are better. I think fully healthy, the Bills are better.
Okay.
Yeah,
because they also have Bosa.
I think fully healthy, the Packers are probably better.
Yep.
And
fuck Jerry for that trade. That's cool.
I think that's probably where I would call it. But I mean,
So
the Broncos are up there.
Yeah.
But they are a top 5 to 6 to 7 unit, like 6-7 type of top 7 unit. The only thing is it's not always possible for them to get all 4 guys in the field at the same time. So on third down, do I think they're the best D line in football? I do. First down, do I think they are? No. And that's just the natural progression of things. However, next year with year 2 Darius Alexander, and hopefully more help on the interior next to Dex, do I think they're going to be the best line of football? I think they'll be the best line of football next year. Yeah. I think it'll be a pretty good margin, and that makes me very excited.
I don't think I've ever been more excited about like a potential, like my tag says, dynasty that this team could slowly.
No D word.
No dynasty talk.
No D word.
No, I mean we won 3 games. I'm getting very ahead of myself, but like year 2 Leak. Leak gets actually his first full year with Dart to build some chemistry. Dart and Scat in year 2. This D line just getting better with some improvements, hopefully, because I need some money off the books, but that's a talk for another day.
Before we get out of here, I love this quote from Diana Rossini's latest article. Cult source on Daniel Jones. You give him an offensive line, and I'm telling you, he's a top quarterback. He has it. Oh, no, that was Saquon. Excuse me. Now, Colt source on Daniel Jones. He's playing with confidence that needed to come out, and he's no longer afraid. Is Daniel Jones like a fucking social activist, bro? Why the fuck are they talking about him like this?
Read the second quote again, please.
Colt source on Daniel Jones. Afraid. He's playing with confidence that needed to come out. He's no longer afraid. This is year 7.
Dude, it's like the RJ hype when he got traded to Toronto. They were like, he's motivated again. He's not fat. He likes the city. He's going to pass the ball. And then he shoots 60% from the free throw line.
I hope they pay him.
Below average. No chance. This is not a basketball podcast, but no chance in hell they pay him with fucking BI and Quick and Scotty. And
this isn't a basketball podcast? Now it is.
Okay, well, the Knicks are winning the championship. That's all I have to say.
No, they're not. Yabu is by himself.
Okay. Dancing Bear.
Yeah, I need to take a break. All right.
Yeah.
Good place to drop things off. Thank you, Luca, for having me. Thank you, Giants, for winning football game. Shout out John Mara. That post game speech was extremely touching.
That was. Shout out to John Mara. I'm very happy the Giants got a win for him on Thursday. The franchise needed that energy and that positivity.
Yeah. Happy to see that. Happy to hear him. Sounded like he was in good positive spirits. And yeah, 10 days off from the next game. Now it's 8. So whatever. But
enjoy
victory,
the victory weekend.
Victory Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and then
back
count them 4 days. Count them 4 days,
and then get back to work.
Yeah,
let's build on it. Momentum.
What's your season record prediction before we leave?
Real quick. Yeah, I'm gonna look at the rest of the schedule because I don't have it memorized. But I do know we have the Broncos next week. So we're fucking what, 2-3?
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
Do I think we beat the Eagles twice?
I don't know.
I don't think so. I don't think so.
I kind of think maybe.
I think we finished the season. Probably like 6-11.
So like 6 or 7 wins.
Shut the fuck up. It's too. I know we're so late in the pod. You're doing so good without bringing it up, and then like I think we beat the Broncos next week and make it 2 straight. And then
okay, aren't we in Denver for that?
I don't give a fuck. You think Jackson Dart gives a fuck about being in Denver?
Wow. You could just feel, dude, the Jackson Dart aura is so insane that he gives other people aura.
He was feeding me aura.
We've never seen something like him before, man.
He's feeding the veterans aura. Yeah, I do actually think we beat the Broncos, and then I think we lose to the Eagles, and then the Niners probably are way more healthy by then. And then I think we beat the Bears, Patriots, and Raiders.
Okay. I'm not giving out a season win-loss prediction because
you set me up. But
yeah,
that's okay.
because I did.
That's fine.
Thank you all for tuning in. Exciting time. And one final time for the road.
Put the hat back on. Yep. It feels good to be a Giants fan again, man.
Let's go, Giants.
Let's go, Big Blue.